Alright, cool. We're going to continue with our interviews earlier today. We had Miss Kendrick in there, like I said. He told me that he stepped off the porch and woke up the next day and was in prison with life without parole. He's very charismatic young man, very bright, very smart. He got a lot to offer, and I know he's going to have some interesting things to say. So, first off, you need to introduce yourself to me.
Alright. My name is Kendrick Hamilton. I'm over here, Alabama. I got locked in when I was 19 years old. And I played a little football in high school, and I did everything that a young man that was raised in the church, and just want to know what nigga street could ever do, And I ain't know nothing about the street. I always wanted to hang with some street guys, or they call them street niggas or whatever. I always wanted to hang with them. I ain't never knew what it was like to sell dope. I ain't never knew what it was like to rob anything on the street. I always admired these guys and heard about them in rap songs. When I first came to prison, I met some guys of that caliber, but they was on a different flavor. They knew something. They knew something, and they was promoting something that was other than what I favored in these guys. And years and years went by, and I was continuing to educate about these guys. Guys like Melvin Ray. The list goes on. So I put all these guys in my book. But one thing that I say about myself, I was a gifted child. And what I did, I was a gifted child, but I had grown into an innocent man. And my eyes are open to a lot of things. I continued to educate myself on a situation that was bigger than me. And I really didn't have much information on it. I had to educate myself on a situation I got myself in. And my whole goal in life is to be a bridge for all the kids that ain't got no information and no education on what they get themselves into. Like I always say, man, it's time to find a new grind. Because the police, the white folks, whatever you want to call them, the government, they hip to everything that black males are doing in the street. If you can come up with a way of hustling in the street that they don't know nothing about, you might get away for a little while. You might get rich. But it ain't going to be too long before they get that information straight up. So you got to find your new grind. That's what I'm promoting now. Find a new grind. Let it go. Because prison is a $1 billion business. And it's going to be $1 trillion business in a minute.
Let me just go back and talk about your case now. This was the first time you ever been arrested in your life?
First time, read my rights and all of that.
Well, you ain't never been arrested, ain't never been nothing, and you just end up out in the street, and you end up with a capital murder case.
Yes, sir.
And you facing the death penalty the first time.
All of that. Death penalty.
The prosecutor, no reservations about, charging you a young black man, never been in trouble. Know you came from a nice middle class family.
They knew all of that. Yeah, they knew all of that. My lawyer, he probably laid down my full resume. Everything I did in high school, straight A student. I was one of the only 10 guys that passed 5 parts of the grad exam my 12th grade year. Everybody else had to retake theirs and go through the motions of a fake graduation and retake theirs. They gave me my high school diploma in the county jail. I already had my credit. I already had 5 parts of the grad exam. I just didn't walk the stage. I was locked up. And they told me I was the first one in history to do that. Get a high school diploma in the county jail. That's what they told me.
Well, let me ask you, tell me, just not the specifics of the crime, but you were charged with a capital murder. There was one person killed. How many people were involved in the case with you? Were you the only person?
I didn't know.
So you was the only one?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
No, I wouldn't know.
And so, what does it feel like now, coming from where you come from? Now you got a life without parole, you're in a situation where they're saying, you understand that life without music, they don't think that anything can be done with you. Even though you've already shown opposite to that. You graduated, high school. You've already shown potential. You've already shown promise. They know you're not a criminal from a criminal background. I don't know if you committed the crime or not, but you've been convicted of the crime. And now that you've been convicted of it, how does it feel knowing that you have a sin that the state is saying you should never be released to society again?
See, the morals that I stand on nowadays is simply right and wrong. I honestly believe that it's wrong to hold a person who has developed and grown into a better person in prison for the rest of their life for something that they did when they was a child. Because there's numbers of things that we did as children, that we probably got away with, and if you were to bring them up today, we'd all look bad. That's just common. That's just common child behavior. Now, like I said, I was, a gifted child. I'm growing to an innocent man because I educated myself to the system. And it just did come to me just to sit in this prison for the first year and be away from my family.
And it's the first time you never even got a chance to go to college, so you never even got a chance to be away from home, really, so to speak.
I almost joined the army, I almost did all that.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's some of the things we profile because we saying these guys are here, they don't even know how to take care of themselves, you know. We have to teach guys how to clean up behind themselves. And some of them are not even receptive to the lesson, and that explains the living conditions. So just share with the people, you know, what a 19-year-old child can expect when he comes to prison, what the living conditions are going to be like.
And first of all, when you come to prison, I mean, the word filthy is 10 times magnified. I'm talking about as far as the rats and roaches, all right, but expect more of that. Then this is the #1 hepatitis count in the state. I already researched. Straight up. The simple necessity of washing your hands is not cool up in here. You know, I don't nobody favor that. But that's #1 of your hygiene for real. Because that's how you catch the cold anyway. But as far as the cleaning supplies, they not gonna feel obligated to give us the proper cleaning supplies to keep the prison clean. Because they figure that's going to take away money. They're going to be too much of a movement or too much of a hold up in their little program they got going on, how they run their prison. You know, but now if you go to a special block, like the Honor Dome, whatever, it's going to smell clean 24/7. So they showing you over there, making the evidence that they can do it.
Yeah, they can do it, but they're not going to do it for black people.
They
don't know who's in J&K.
Yeah, number white
you got the role. So, I mean, when you're 19, tell me what it's like for a child, first time in prison, never had a job, and then you get to prison and you can't get a job. You know, you can't go to school and continue your education. Right. And a lot of the rehabilitation opportunities that are available, you can't receive them because of your sentence. You know, so you being shut out from ever going out in the society again, and while you're in prison, you being shut out from receiving all the things that you would need as a young man growing into manhood. That's right. So speak to that. How does that feel?
It's pure oppression. It is pure oppression. And oppression, from what I was taught, oppression breeds resistance. And the nature of me, the natural person that I am, you know, the natural tendency of me to want to educate myself, I have no choice but to do that. You know, I know who are the men around here. I figured that out when I first came to the men were straight up. So I had no choice but to cling to the men. You know, the people that was kicking out the information. The people that was putting me in a position where I ain't got to keep asking questions. All I got to do is read or watch and figure out what's going on. I hung with the men, with everything. I could have easily hung with my homeboy that was my age when I first got here.
But that's what, you know, those are the influences they got you.
Oh, yeah. That's what got me directly to prison. On everything. That's what got me directly to prison. Most of the decisions I made that got me here was influenced by somebody else that I thought was smarter than me, or knew something better than me, or knew how to wiggle your way out of a situation. All I did was just make the decision. It wasn't most of my decisions that got me here was not the result of my thinking. It was a result of me being influenced by somebody else's thinking. Everything.
So now that you've matured from that, and I want you to just talk about going home, you know. I know you got a life without parole, you got a capital case, and that's something that's not, you know, you don't have a platform to speak about that from. Yeah. But you understand that you have to create an opportunity. You know, that's the only way we're going to get out, and that's what we're trying to do through Free Alabama Movement. So tell me how you feel about participating in a nonviolent peaceful protest, understanding that it's designed for young men like you to help get y'all the opportunity that y'all need, because you one mistake and you never get to go home again. That's not right.
And when I look back on my life and all the things I've been through, the decisions I made based on what I knew at the time, and I bring it up to date to now, Free Alabama Movement, this is like my destiny. This is my purpose. I can't turn my back on it. I gotta promote it. I gotta uphold it. This is what I stand on. Free Alabama Movement. Of course, it was always brewing in the air. Somebody had to organize it. Somebody had to put it together. You know, we was always conscious
that something needs to be done.
Yeah.
We know we ain't living right.
Yeah,
we know the sentencing is messed up. Right. But obviously, you know, organized thought had to put all those things together, put a name and a face to it.
That's it. You know, we had to be the leaders of trying to combat our own oppression. And I'm down with that, but I'm widely oppressed. I'm heavily oppressed.
And you from Mobile, but you up here in the Birmingham area, so there's distance between you and your family. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole lot of things. Yeah. So I mean, how do you take care of yourself in prison? I mean, there's no paying jobs. I know you was working in the kitchen. You still working in the kitchen?
Still working in the kitchen.
What you get from that? You know, how old are you now?
28 now.
28 now. So what do you get from working in the kitchen?
I get a sweaty T-shirt. I get my feet be killing me. And if I get caught with anything, I'm gonna get my name on a piece of paper saying stolen property or contraband, and I might be like 30 days
in lockup.
With everything. Just for trying to get something to eat out of the kitchen after an 8-hour shift. Sometimes we stay in there all day, straight up.
They don't get nothing.
Don't get nothing. Don't get paid zero.
And then you have to come back and live like this. With a life without sin. You can't even go get a skill or trade.
I can't. Life without parole.
You can't even touch a computer. There's no computers in the camp.
See, I mean, this is a true form of oppression. They lock you out for your education. They already ain't promoting you being a man. They're not promoting that. Us being grown-ups, you know. I mean, as far as your hygiene, come on, that's an adult. That's part of being an adult, too.
Mm-hmm.
As far as protecting yourself and thinking for yourself, they want to do that for you, too. It's pure oppression. And if you fall for it, then you will be oppressed. If you content with it, you still will be oppressed. You know, it ain't how you feel, it's how they coming with it. For everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, the Free Alabama movement, I mean, that's what I'm standing on. You know, it's like this is my life, and it's in my hands when the Free Alabama movement just you know, been stamped and put into place, and now I'm back in control.
Well, you know, oftentimes we've been talking about it among some of the leadership guys. When men in prison start to stand up and do for themselves, the first thing the authorities want to do is portray us as violent people, because we do have violent convictions, we do have some violent incidents in our past. And when we start doing it, they want to provoke violence and try to take away the support that people who want to support us. But I just want you to speak to nonviolent and peaceful protest and understanding why this is the proper way and not trying to be violent with these people.
Well, first of all, see, they already got a ready-made role for who we supposed to be, even before we come to prison. You know, they know where we from. They know all the education, you know, the lack of education that we have. They know all the family members. They do a full scope on us. So they got a ready-made role for us. But now, if we accept that role and try to, you know, be violent and lash out, they got something else for us, too. Mm-hmm. That's already planned out. So the peaceful protest approach, we can show them, hey, man, we civilized, we can be civil. We are civil, you know, and we understand that we being oppressed, and we smart enough to know what to do. Mm-hmm. Straight up. So we going to be peaceful. Ain't no way around that. They want to kill us off. As soon as we get aggressive, they want to kill us off, whether it be through paperwork, whether it be through physical force, or whether it be through telling the public that we don't deserve to be free. Look at what they do. Right. You know, they already ready to do that. They ready to sit. These people don't work. These people don't drop stuff up on the ground when they work. They already got their homework did. So we got to be smart. So to be peaceful, basically, is to civilize the people as a part of the program and let everybody know that, hey, we trying to actually make a change.
All right. Well, Katie, man, I appreciate you coming and sharing your story with us, sharing a little bit about your background, you know, speaking positive for the Free Alabama movement.
Yes, sir.
Because, you know, this is the only way we're going to save these young brothers. You know, we got to do something. Ain't no sense in being scared, you know. We know how violent they can be. But, I mean, if we don't do nothing, we're going to die anyway. The water supply, you know, it's going to kill us. The food supply, it's going to kill us. The rust that we're breathing in, all of the dust and stuff that we're breathing in, the rats and stuff crawling around, you know, we're going to die anyway, you know, but we want to die as men. We want to die standing on our feet, being accounted for. You know, we want our families to know that we did everything we could to try to get back, and while we were here, we were constructive in our time, you know, so, yeah, you want to add something?
Y'all want to say something else, too, just to add on to when you asked me that question about the conditions. See, I had wrote an essay in my book, you know, about the HIV positive thing they got down. See, in the population, the general population of a prison, they segregated us and they got us together, but they really don't care, you know, who is around who, what kind of, they don't really care about that. But now what I'm saying was, when I had wrote my essay, I compared it to animals in the zoo. The animals in the zoo, they segregate them for reasons. Based on life expectancy, you know, based on their nature, what type of animal it is. They might put the ostrich in a big field, they might put the monkeys in it, you know what I'm saying?
Put the fish on the water.
Put the fish in the water. They segregate them according to their nature, their culture, you know what I'm saying, so they can have a better life expectancy, you know. I mean, so what I'm saying is the treatment they give us is lower than the treatment of animals in the zoo.
And they know that this is not the level, this is not an environment to improve our life expectancy. It's not going to improve our overall health. It's not a natural habitat.
They know that.
We can't even have sex with women. You were 19, you probably, you know.
Better my best your secret. Best your secret.
I mean, just real talk. I mean, you know, what can we do? I mean, what's so wrong about a conjugal visit? What's so wrong about allowing two people to experience something that's natural? You know, if a man earns it, if he shows that his behavior merits it, if he shows that he's on a path to the street, you know, that's something we got to give serious consideration to, because we have to improve our overall habitat.
That's right.
And part of our overall habitat is having a natural relationship with a woman. You know, you got guys 15, 16, 17 years old, and you want to hold them 10, 20 years. Come on, they don't know what to do. They ain't never, you know, we got to do better than this.
Unnatural.
That's unnatural. But 3 hours on movement, we're going to try to help you out with that right now.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. See why I fight. See why I fight.
But let us conclude this session right here. We got a couple more guys who want to get on and want to talk about an article that I ran across. What did I do with that article? Anyway, we got an article we're going to come up and talk about in just a minute. We talked about the ACLU, Legal Justice Initiative, Southern Center for Human Rights, Southern Poverty Law Center, and just showing how these people are not really fighting for us. What they're doing is exploiting the system. They profiting off our misery. They come in and see how bad we live, and they figure out a way, you know, to increase their budget, because they're not going to sue for our suffering. They're not going to sue for our pain. They're not going to sue to compensate us when our bones are broken and when we're beaten by the police. They're going to sue for attorney fees. You know, they're going to run the fees up, run the bill up, until they get the money at a level where they satisfied at. And when they feel like they're going to get what they want out of it, you know, that's when they'll sell it. So we don't know what we'll get with it. Oh, here it is, right here. And this is it. This is what it says. It says Alabama prisons may pay $1.3 million to ACLU lawyers. You know, we talked about this in the book. This is the lawsuit that we were talking about with the HIV inmates. You can see it very plainly. These are HIV, and this is the settlement. And the thing about this article, what this article points out, is what I said. You know, everybody's making money off of prison. They can come in here at any time in one of these prisons and find just cause to file a lawsuit. They'll bill us, they'll interview us, they'll run up the attorney's house, and then they'll go in court and they'll settle. And, you know, it's supposed to be education. You heard me talk, it's supposed to be education to the prisoners about HIV inmates, how to protect ourselves, how to help protect HIV inmates, you know, and things like that, but they're not going to educate us. These people are not going to make sure that the DOC do their job. The only thing they're going to make sure is that the DOC pay that $1.3 million. You know, they did the same thing at West Jefferson. They collected over $2 million in attorney fees and settlement. But they sued because the police were beating inmates. You had 2 or 3 officers breaking bones, stumping inmates in their testicles, breaking ribs, breaking noses and stuff. But the only compensation that came out of that was for attorney fees. And we saying, you know, we calling the ACLU out, the Southern Poverty Law Center, the Southern Center for Human Rights, and we telling y'all to stop exploiting us because of our misery. Stop using us for a paycheck when there's a recession in the economy and the grants are running low. You know, if you want to come in here, you want to do something, come in here and film and take pictures and test the water quality. Come and get this food that's got these animal organs inside of it. Come inside the kitchen where it's infested with rats and roaches and stuff. Come inside these cells and these blocks, you know what I'm saying? And let us show y'all the degradation in the human rights and the suffering and oppression that we're going through. And if you want to tax the system, tax them in a way that'll make them, you know, think twice about the way that they handle people. I just want to quote something out of this. It says that the chairman of the House General Fund Committee, Republican Representative Steve Klaus of Ozark, said he plans to discuss with the department head the wisdom of pursuing cases where it appears we are not going to win. You know, and when you hear legislator talk like that, he's saying, okay, we know there's some wrong being done in the system. When that wrong is brought to the court, don't let ACLU pile up $1.3 million in attorney fees when we can get out of there off the top and start fixing these problems. You know, we have to applaud him. He's a politician. He knows when crimes are being, he knows when money is being sought. he know when somebody is out for a money grab, and he's speaking to that. And that same thing we prison saying. We know it's a money grab going on. You know, y'all taxing us at the store, taxing us at the center packages, we paying for armbands, we paying for IDs, we paying for all these things, but, you know, everybody's getting money out of it except for us. So that's what we ask, you know, get your hands out of our pockets, ACLU, Southern Center, Southern Power. Y'all cut it out.
They don't mean us no good. ACL.
We own to you, we know what's going on, we educate the people. So, you know, from now on, when you file a lawsuit if a guy been beat by the police, make sure you get compensation for that. You know, if a woman that did rape that Tuckweiler, they being abused over there, make sure you sue for compensatory punitive damage. Get these people they do so the DOC can feel what these people are going through, you know, and they'll understand they do it wrong and the system will improve. But as long as y'all just keep snatching the turning seats, you know, ain't nobody it's gonna be throw a little paint on the walls and we'll holler at you. That's why we live like this. That's why all this rust is here. Because it's wrong, and when y'all sue, y'all only make them put some paint on it. And when that paint wear off, y'all out of the picture. But when you make them pay, then the next time that rust come on, they hurry up and come and fix it because they know a lawsuit's around the corner, but they're going to have to pay again. So we're going to end this interview session today, and we just continue to encourage people to support the Free Alabama movement. Free Alabama.
What we're going to do right now, we're going to show y'all just how dangerous the Department of Correction is. We're going to show you where the dangerous areas where a person can just be dragged off and killed and nobody even know anything about it. See, I got Kojak with me again. I'm going to get him to step inside this closet, and we're going to show you just how you can just push a person inside the closet, lock the door. No security, no one knows. Somebody could be killed. This is how we live in the Department of Correction. There's no security. No one knows that there's a human being inside this room, and anything could be happening to them. But because they don't have security, they're doing nothing to protect us in here. These are the living conditions that we're talking about. And this man is in the cell, in this closet. And I'm going to get him, and there he is, stepping out of the closet. He could have been killed. There's a whole closet in here. No one in, no security. Just, he's